In today's video we're going to be looking at the toilet and how that works both internally and externally with the Thetford cassette. Now internally, because the toilet will only work if the 12 volt is on. It's an electrically operated flush system, so you have to have the 12 volt on. So if you look over at the panel here, you can see we've not only got the 12 volt turned on, but we've also got the water pump engaged as well. That's this button here. So we obviously need that on to be able to use the flushing facility. So what I'll just show you now is the key components of the toilet internally, and then we'll move outside and we'll go through how to prepare the cassette, and then also how to get rid of the waste at the end of your holiday. Okay, there's not a lot of room in here, as you can see, but here we are in the toilet area. Now, in the instructions for the toilet, which are on board the van, it does actually call the valve that is in between the toilet and the cassette. It's known as a blade valve. So I've marked on the toilet here the blade valve itself, and you can see it's got a closed position and an open position. So effectively all you need to know there is that when it's in the open position, anything that's put into the basin here will end up in the cassette, and obviously if it's in the closed position, nothing can pass through into the cassette itself. So moving up just onto the toilet flush panel here, these are the main controls. The blue button here is the flush, so when that button is pressed, water will come out into the pan. And this button here is an electric ventilation system. Now we found that this button is a little bit temperamental. It took us a while to figure out how to get it to work, but it does work. What happens is when you flush the toilet, that will come on automatically and will stay on for 7 minutes, and it's designed to remove fumes from the toilet area. It passes out through a filter in the external cupboard, but it's we find that at night, particularly if you've only done a number one, it can be quite annoying, because particularly if it stays on for 7 minutes. So you have the option with the button here to be able to turn that off as soon as you've had enough of that noise. Now here we are outside the van. I'm just going to take you through the process of preparing the cassette and what to do when you've got some waste in there and you want to get rid of it at the dump station. So I'll just show you first of all what we've got in here. You've probably seen this on a previous video. The main thing we need in here are the sachets which go into the cassette. One of these per 20 litres, and we have a 20 litre capacity cassette in this van. So one of these will go into the cassette in preparation for the use of the toilet, and that would be added to 2 to 3 litres of water. I normally put about 3 litres in, and that creates the fluid in the cassette that then will take the waste during the duration of your trip. These tend to only last for about 4 days. I would say if you've gone that sort of duration on your holiday, you want to empty the cassette and replace it with a new sachet. Just in case we don't have the sachets when you're on board, and we have the liquid, that's 150 millilitres of fluid, again per 20 litre capacity, and added to 3 litres of water. Now we're at the cassette here. I'm just going to open up the doors and remove the cassette. So we lift up the orange handle and remove the cassette. Now, as you can see, there are a few orange knobs here. The two that are most critical are this one here. This will allow air to enter into the cassette when you're emptying it, and this one here, which is the main fill and waste removal inlet. So you can see there it turns on its side, and this removes. Now this is a measuring cap. It only goes up to 120 millilitres, but it is graduated inside. I don't know if you can see that, but it's graduated inside, so you could do one lot of 120 and then one lot of 30. But we're using the sachets at the moment, which are just one complete sachet per 20 litres of capacity. So you'd put your sachet into here. You'd also put your 3 litres of water in, close up the lid, and then replace the cassette. Now, having prepared the cassette for use, I just want to point out this little compartment here. It's a sliding door which reveals underneath it a valve effectively, which keeps this closed so you don't get any spillages. It can be opened using this one. I haven't had course to do that yet, but I guess for cleaning purposes it might be useful. But we keep that closed and this closed as well. And the physical act of putting this back into this compartment will open this door so it's ready for use with the toilet. Remember, the blade valve internally is what opens and closes the toilet itself to allow any fluids to pass into here, but putting this back in will actually allow this door to be opened automatically as you put it in. So I'll slide it back in, and there we go. So the cassette's now ready and there's nothing more for you to do. Now, when we come to get rid of the waste, obviously what we've done ourselves is to work out a system that works for us, and we found that depending on the dump station, you may want to go and have a look at the dump station in the campsite you're in. First of all, just to make sure and see what the access is like for the van. Some campsites it's not very good, and we find it easy just to take the toilet cassette to the dump station. If you're doing that, you'll notice that by lifting up this lever here, you have got a carry handle which will enable you to pull the cassette along. Okay, so we're at the dump station now. The cassette's either partially or fully full of waste. What we normally do here is we lift up this outlet pipe and remove the cap. And remembering that when you pour this out, you need to press the button here, which allows the waste to come out and air to come in. So once you've done that, and this is empty, you'd flush it through maybe 2 to 3 times with fresh water, emptying out each time until basically the cassette is completely empty of any waste. If you're continuing on your holiday, you would repeat the process that we went through earlier, which is to add a sachet or the 150 mils of the chemical and 3 litres of water, and then replace the cassette in the compartment. If the van's coming back to us for return, we'd ask you just to keep it in a nice and clean state so that when it gets back to us, it's ready for the next guest to use. That's the end of this particular video. We hope it's been useful.